It happened about a year ago, in a small town called Ravenbrook, Massachusetts, the kind of quiet place where everyone knows everyone and nothing bad ever really happens. My school, Ravenbrook High, sat on a hill surrounded by pine trees and heavy evening fog. During exam season, it became the loneliest place in the world. Our principal had decided to keep the library open until midnight so students could prepare for finals. Most of them went home by 9, but I was behind on physics and liked the silence, so I stayed. When I walked into the library around 6:15, the warm smell of old paper and the soft buzz of fluorescent lights felt comforting. A few students sat scattered among the aisles, whispering or typing. Hours slipped by, and one by one they left. By 10 o'clock, I realized I was completely alone. I told myself I'd finish my notes. 15 more minutes, then I'd go. The air conditioner hummed. Rain trickled down the tall windows, reflecting the glow of the reading lamps. I was writing when I heard it. Faint, uneven footsteps echoing through the quiet. Tap, drag, tap, drag. At first I thought it was Mr. Curtis, the janitor, making his rounds, but something about the rhythm sounded wrong, like whoever it was had a limp. "Hello?" I called, my voice breaking the silence. No answer. I peered down the aisles but saw nothing except a bulb flickering over the reference section. I shook it off and kept writing, but the steps came again, closer this time, and slower. Tap, drag, tap, drag. A chill slid over my arms. Every instinct told me not to look up, yet I did. At the far end of the library, near the exit corridor, something moved. A blur of fabric, the edge of a dress vanishing around the corner. I blinked, and it was gone. My pulse raced. I packed up fast, shoving my notes into my backpack and nearly knocking over a chair. The sound cracked through the emptiness like a gunshot. "Okay, time to go," I muttered. Stepping into the hallway felt like crossing into another world. The air was colder, stiller. The yellow ceiling lights buzzed softly above rows of lockers. My sneakers squeaked as I walked, repeating a mantra in my head. Just straight, then right, then left. You're out. Halfway down the corridor, I stopped. Someone was standing at the far end. A woman. At least I thought it was. Her figure was backlit by the dim glow of the exit sign. Her head hung low, long dark hair dripping as if she'd been out in the rain. Her clothes looked old and torn. My stomach tightened. Maybe she was a teacher or a parent, I told myself, but the way she stood, completely motionless, made every hair on my neck stand up. Excuse me?" I called. She didn't move. "Ma'am?" Still nothing. Then her head began to turn, slowly, like a rusty hinge creaking. Her face was half hidden behind that wet hair, but what I saw, pale skin and hollow eyes, froze me where I stood. She tilted her head and spoke in a voice that sounded like it was coming from underwater. "Have you seen my daughter?" I couldn't breathe. I don't know who your daughter is," I stammered, but in the blink of an eye she was gone. The hallway was empty again. My laugh came out shaky, not real at all, and I bolted. My footsteps slammed against the linoleum floor as I sprinted toward the exit. I was reaching for the handle when I heard it again behind me. Tap, drag, tap, drag. Closer, faster. I didn't dare look back. I burst through the doors into the cold, wet night. Rain slapped against my face as I stumbled across the parking lot. The street beyond was deserted, darker than usual. Not a single car, not a single light. I pulled my hood up and walked fast, eyes down, clutching my backpack like it might protect me. The sound of rain drowned everything until I noticed a shadow stretching across the pavement ahead of me, moving the wrong way against the streetlights. Someone was walking behind me. I turned slowly. She was there, the same woman, with the same torn dress and twisted posture. Her lips trembled as she whispered again, "Have you seen my daughter?" My chest tightened with panic. I didn't answer. I just ran. I don't remember how long or how far, only the pounding in my ears and the echo of those dragging footsteps following me all the way to my street. When I finally reached my porch, I slammed the door and slid down against it, shaking. For a long time, I could still hear those footsteps somewhere out in the rain. I didn't know it then, but that was only the beginning. For the next few days after that night, I tried convincing myself it was all in my head. I told my friends I'd been studying too long, that maybe the lack of sleep had made me imagine things. But every time I closed my eyes, I could still see her. That drenched hair, the hollow eyes, the way her voice echoed when she asked, "Have you seen my daughter?" I avoided the library for a while. I studied at home instead, surrounded by noise, by people, by anything that reminded me I wasn't alone. But the thing about fear is, it finds a way to wait for you, to crawl back when you least expect it. By the following Friday, I had to go back. My finals were in 2 days, and my physics notes were still in my locker at school. I waited until the afternoon, made sure I'd be out long before dark. The school hallways felt normal again, loud, crowded, buzzing with end-of-semester panic. I almost laughed at myself for being so scared. But the moment I stepped near the library doors again, something in the air shifted. The noise from the rest of the school seemed to fade. It was like the walls swallowed sound. I hesitated, hand resting on the door handle. It felt cold, too cold for a sunny afternoon. My stomach twisted, but I told myself, in and out, 2 minutes tops. The library was empty. Sunlight poured through the windows, golden and calm. Everything looked harmless, exactly as it should. My locker was just inside the adjacent hallway near the study room. I turned the dial, grabbed my notes, and slammed it shut. Then I froze. That same sound. Tap, drag, tap, drag. Except this time, it wasn't coming from behind me. It was above me. I tilted my head, staring up at the second-floor balcony that circled the library's reading area. It was empty, but the sound continued, slow, deliberate. Footsteps. Something, someone, pacing the upper floor. "Mr. Curtis?" I called. Silence. I took a cautious step back. The light flickered once, then steadied. I could feel my pulse in my throat. I backed toward the exit. And then I saw her. She was standing at the top of the stairs, half hidden behind the railing. Same twisted limbs, same drenched hair. I couldn't move. She took one staggering step down. Tap, drag, tap, drag. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. My body reacted before my brain did. I bolted out of the library and into the main hall. I ran so hard my lungs burned. When I reached the doors to the gym, I stopped to catch my breath. I looked back. The hall was empty again. That's when I noticed something strange. The lights at the far end were flickering on and off, one by one, moving toward me as if someone was walking beneath them. And then I heard the voice, "Please, help me find her." It was soft, almost pleading, but it carried through the hall like a breeze through hollow pipes. I turned and ran again, this time not caring where I went. I just needed to get away. I cut through the science wing, down the stairs into a part of the building I barely recognized. It was darker here, older, colder. The paint peeled from the walls, and the air smelled like damp wood and bleach. When I finally stopped, I realized where I was, the old elementary section. Years ago, before the town built a new school, Ravenbrook High used to house both high schoolers and elementary kids. They'd sealed off the old wing after a fire, but sometimes teachers used it for storage. No one came here now. The hallway stretched long and narrow, lined with faded murals, smiling cartoon suns, trees with faces. And halfway down that hall was something new, something I'd never noticed before. A door slightly ajar, its paint blistered and peeling. A faint light flickered from within. I should have turned back. Every sane part of me screamed not to go closer. But something pulled me forward. Curiosity, maybe, or that same strange whisper that had haunted me for days. When I reached the door, I nudged it open with my foot. Inside was a small classroom. The air smelled old, like chalk dust and rainwater. Desks were stacked in one corner, and a row of faded drawings still clung to the walls, crayon scribbles of stick figures, houses, smiling suns. Then I saw the blackboard. It was covered with words written in shaky white chalk over and over again. "Where is my daughter? I stepped closer, my heart hammering. The chalk was fresh. Something cracked behind me, the sound of wood bending under pressure. I turned slowly. The door I'd left open was now closing. She was there. Her twisted hands gripped the door frame, her head tilted so far sideways it looked broken. Her eyes were wide, unblinking, milky white. I stumbled backward, hitting a desk. My knees buckled. I couldn't scream, not even when she spoke. "She was here," the woman rasped. "They locked her in." "They left her. I don't know what you're talking about," I whispered.